So here we're setting up for Swaddle Bath with the things we have in our NICU. We've got the little tubs that they use for our baths with our NICU babies. A cup. We're going to dip out some clean water first or get it from the faucet. And this is baby soap and a pacifier, of course. We've got towels, a couple of blankets, and then the soft napkin wipes. I don't like to use terry cloth because it's just too rough on their skin. So I've got the cloth, and I'm going to put a washcloth in the corner so the baby's head's not against a hard plastic of the corner. So then I've got the baby nice and swaddled, and I just unswaddle the upper body since I've just got a shirt to take off. Then we do it just as intentional as possible. Doesn't take any more time. It just allows the baby not to get really dysregulated and have to do any calming and stressed out. So we just try to keep them so that they're able to state regulate, which is one of the biggest things we want for them to learn or be able to do. And I'm getting just the upper body swaddle now. I just cross over the top parts of the swaddle so it holds tight on the upper body. And then now I'm going to remove the pulse ox from the foot. Took the cover off. Then when you take the pulse ox, the adhesive part off, when you get to the part that has skin under it, make sure you put your finger behind it and press on it, so that you're not just yanking it off the skin. Because everything babies get to their feet in the NICU is aversive. It's a poke or a prick or a stick, so we don't want everything to be bad. So I'm giving a little pressure to the foot just for the calming input and not light touch aversive input. And then now I'm keeping the upper body swaddled, and I'm changing the diaper, taking it off for the bath. Roll up from the hips as much as possible instead of pulling on the legs. Swaddle loosely because we're going to be pulling that down once we get them in the tub. So gently lift the baby. I've got the cloth in the corner so their head doesn't hit the corner of the tub. And gently put them in the tub and slowly so that they kind of adapt to it. And it's not a fast entry, and you just pour water over the swaddle so that it gets warm. And then while it's wet, it clings to them more. You'll see me trying to keep it down, but when it's wet, it clings. So I dip a washcloth in the clean cup of water and wipe from the inside of the eye out, from the corner, the inside out. Change the place on the napkin and wipe the other eye. Inside corner out. Then you can clean the forehead and the cheeks and the rest of the face. Clean behind the ears, kind of under the chin. And you want slow kind of pressure input, not fast wiping back and forth. So now I let them sit for a second. I'm going to unswaddle one side to do the arm. So just leave them in the swaddle and unswaddle one side. And then I get a washcloth, a napkin actually, because they're softer. Put soap on the napkin, not on the baby, because it is cold and alerting. And then I put it in the water to kind of warm it up. So I'm getting under the neck rolls, on the arm, on the chest, the hand. Then to get the arm up, what I teach a lot of times is jiggle it gently. Just kind of wiggle it while you raise the arm, because then it makes the muscles relax so you can pull the arm up without yanking. So I'm getting the chest and the belly, and then re-swaddle. Pull it right back over that arm so it stays warm. The baby stays regulated. So then now I'm getting the other arm and the hand, or whatever you do is fine, and then jiggle the arm so I can get it up. And then I'm getting the side of the trunk, trying to turn so you can see, and that side of the trunk. And then I'm going to swaddle that side back so the baby stays nice and warm and state regulated. So we're not burning a lot of calories crying and screaming. If you need the pacifier, a lot of times you'll see fantastic non-nutritive suck on a pacifier while they're in this. So, and now I've unswaddled the leg, the right leg, and I soaped it up. Now I'm going to unswaddle the other leg, the left leg, and I'm soaping the foot and the leg. And now I'm going to get in the perineum, wash around the private parts. And then once I'm done with that, of course, I will throw that washcloth. Wash the lower belly. Get rid of that washcloth. Trying to get her legs back in there, swaddled, nice and warm and in the water. Give her a passy if you have it, if you need it. So I'm getting a clean napkin. Get it warm, put some baby soap on it so it's warm. I usually dip it in the water. Make sure it's warm. Kind of rotate your baby to the side just a little so you can get the back. I try to drape the cloth over them so they stay warm. Get the back and down towards the bottom. And then once you clean the bottom, clean it real good, and then you get rid of that washcloth, of course. Re-swaddle. Just keep them swaddled the whole time. And then I give them a second after I've rotated them back to supine. I have another swaddle blanket, a dry clean swaddle blanket that's already folded down. A lot of times I'll try to prep before. Just lay everything out. Then to get them out, I teach this to caregivers all the time. So you want to put the towel under your chin, put it crossways on your body, and just hold it with your chin so you can go down and meet the baby. So you're not flying them through the air like a slippery fish is what it feels like to them, and you're not giving a lot of vestibular extraneous input, not stressful input. The baby's calm. So you just lean down to meet the baby. Pull them to your chest. I open the little swaddle while they're in the water and just leave it in there. Pull them to your chest and then stand up with them. And I teach that to the parents too. So then I just hold them there and give pressure input with the towel to dry them off so you're not rubbing for their sensitive little skin. She already cleaned it all, so I'm just patting them so that she gets dry. Just a little pressure and pats. And then I'm going to spread out the swaddle blanket over beside the tub. And wait for the baby to regulate. Make sure she stays calm. And then lay her down in the swaddle. My baby's got stiff legs. So swaddling always with the arms up by the face, since that's the only way babies have to state regulate at this age, hands by face and mouth. So you always want them swaddled up, bent up toward the face. So I'm swaddling just the upper body, because a lot of times I'll put the diaper on there. I did not hear, but I'll swaddle just the upper body and put the diaper on before I do their hair, but you don't have to. So I give them pacifier if they don't already have it. And then I take the clean water and I pour a little bit over their head, over their hair to get it wet. And everybody loses most the heat out of their head. So that's why we want to do it last, and we want to make sure we're using clean water. And then I'll get the baby soap and another napkin so that I'm not squirting it directly on the baby's head. It's cold. Squeeze it on there. Rub it around. You can dip it in the water if you need to get it a little more warm. Not in the dirty water. You're going to dip it in the clean water because it's going on the hair. And then soap up the hair. Do long, slow pressure strokes. Don't do fast, erratic strokes, because you want your baby to stay good and calm and actually enjoy a bath. We're trying to bring in the parasympathetic nervous system. So then you get the clean water and wash it off. Wash all that hair, the soap off. And then I usually do that to squeegee it out. And then I'll grab usually I use a swaddle blanket or a towel, whatever you have. Just don't rub hard with the towel because it's kind of rough. So then I'll just blot their hair. And I'm kind of just gently drying it off. You don't want to rub hard with a terry cloth towel. Just gently blotting it, drying it off. Drying around the back. While not moving them all around all over the place. No, they're not going to break, but their little brains and nervous systems aren't ready to have all the crazy movements that we sometimes give them. So, and then you always put on a hat after, because their hair's probably still, it's dry, but it's damp. So you just want to put a hat on to make sure they hold their temperature well. And so she's in a dry swaddle. She's got a hat on. Everything's clean. And if you did not put a diaper on, I usually do put the diaper on before I do the hair. But some people would just do this and then hope they didn't go. You can always use a different swaddle, but and so I'm keeping the upper body swaddled. Gotta find a diaper. Roll up at the hips instead of pulling on the legs as much as possible. Now I'm going to put back on the leads, the pulse ox, and put it on. I always put the wire part going towards the heel so it doesn't get stuck in between their toes and cause pressure. So that's just one thing I always do, is make sure the wire's going back toward the heel. And then when you're messing with their foot, making sure it's pressure touch and you're holding it and not tickle touch, because we don't want alert or fight or flight or sympathetic nervous system coming in. So baby's still calm. I'm holding her hand. My lead just got stuck on the edge of the table, and I'm acting like I'm putting the leads on. So when you put the leads on, all you do is unswaddle, put the leads on, then swaddle the baby back. Getting me a good swaddle in for the baby. And there it is. The baby's all happy and clean and smells good and calm. So, neuroprotection, we want to do it. Every touch matters with our babies, our neonates. When you touch the baby, you affect the brain. So we're worried about all those synapses and the keeping neuroprotection as much as possible, and it's easy during a bath.